Welcome to Club 120, the ultimate roundtable for diehard Cubs fans and lovers of all things sports and lifestyle.
Strike three, you're out.
Hosted by Neil and Nate, two former baseball players and coaches turned loud mouths with strong opinions and even stronger banner. Get ready for quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and the occasional heated debate. From analyzing Cubs on-field action to diving into off-field drama, no topic is off limits. So grab your glove, pour a drink, and pull up a seat at Club 120, where the banner's quick, the takes are hot, and the Cubs always come first. Let's get started.
Play ball!
Hello, Cubs friends. It's 120. You know what that means. Grab an old style and a bleacher seat. Let's talk Cubs. You're in Club 120. I'm Nate, and with me, as always, is a man who has an option or two left if the Cubs are a little thin this week because of the WBC. Neil, what's on today's lineup card?
Oh, man. Thanks, Nate. And thanks to everyone who's watching, wherever it is you're watching or listening, if it's at the gym, at the ballpark, or at work pretending to answer emails. We appreciate you tuning in and watching along or listening, however it is you take us in. Man, great show today. Today's lineup card, the WBC Wide Open, is topic number one, which would normally be exciting if I didn't hate the World Baseball Circus with a burning passion. But since 13 Cubs are involved, we'll talk about who might actually benefit from it. It probably won't be the Cubs. Then more, please. Which players do we want Cubs giving more opportunities to in spring training? We'll check in on the pitch lab progress. Then 6 Gun Steele. Justin Steele got all cleared this week. What does that mean? What does that look like? And our topic of the week finally is line them up, our ideal opening day lineup. All right, man, let's open it up. World Baseball Classic. Let's hear your thoughts on the World Baseball. I can't wait to hear your thoughts on the World Baseball Classic because I think everybody probably knows my thoughts on the World Baseball Classic by now. But
sure, we're on a couple of sides here on this one. I like it. I got caught watching the Dominican Republic game last night. Man, that was a fun scene. I don't know if you flipped over to watch that, Neil, but they do baseball a fun way down there. And if you got a chance to stop by that yesterday or today, man, that had some juice in it last night. Did you get to see any of it?
No, I did not. For more reasons other than just not caring about it. I was unable to watch it.
Okay. I would give them the dark horse as far as that's concerned. I think it's going to be chalk. It's USA and Japan, but the Dominican lineup is pretty stacked. It was a pretty funny moment last night, though. I sent you a screenshot of the lineup. I didn't, they can. One of these things was not like the other, and when Austin Wells came up, they showed the crowd, and everybody as well was kind of looking around for a minute, and then he ropes a double, and they're like, "Yeah, I could see it. He's definitely our guy." It was a funny moment, but there's a lot of guys playing for some countries that are getting some extra at bats, and that's really good. One of our guys, I would say, that benefits the most here, Neil, is probably Javi Assad. Would you say he's in the 5th starter race? Is he front or back? Where would you put him right now in that race for that 5th starter role?
Man, that's a loaded question with the way that Jamison Tyon's throwing the baseball. So, because we're assuming that JMO is going to have a spot on the rotation. I'm still waiting on Tommy Hotovy. I know this is off topic and we're not talking about the World Baseball Classic, but I'm waiting for Tommy Hotovy or somebody to grab the mic and be like, we're only letting him throw 2 pitches during spring training, or, we're making him throw something that he wouldn't normally throw, or we're experimenting with this, or I need that to happen because what's that?
You're referencing JMO there?
Yeah, that's correct. Because Javi is probably going to, in my opinion, going to slide in his spot if JMO can't get anybody out.
So then you would say that those high leverage at bats that Javi's going to have against MLB level hitters in the WBC would benefit him?
Oh yeah, that I did a terrible job of segueing there, but yeah, I was taking your point with Javi and running with it and saying I think Javi absolutely has a spot on this 5/6 man rotation. We'll get to that here in a little bit.
Sure.
Especially if JMO can't figure it out.
Well, let's stay on that right there. You mentioned it a little bit. Does he have the most to lose by not pitching well for Team Canada?
Yeah, absolutely. I think he absolutely has the most to lose. And I like I said, I am anxiously awaiting some sort of announcement regarding him, because when I watched his last outing, the best we could watch his last outing, like the clips you would see looked like mental searching.
There's a lot going on. I mentioned it in my little hot corner. The breaking ball is just spinning. There's no bite to it. It's just hanging right there. And the fastball's just about a ball up on belt high, so it's about the belly button. And at 94, these are big league hitters, man. If you're not going to elevate above the zone, or tease it below the zone with two pitches at the same level, it's just not going to work. And he's not doing it right now. He's not sequencing it well. The kick changes and kicking. I don't know what it is, but yes, I would love. You're right. That's what it smells like. It smells like, oh, well, we're working on this one pitch, and that's it, right? And it's just not getting where it wants to be, or whatnot.
Yeah, or they're screwing with his changeup grip or something. Like it seems like they're tinkering with something. And again, if that's what you're doing, fine. I don't care. But Jiminy Christmas, come out and say it, because I'm losing hope.
I got one more guy that I think we should just really quick. Do you feel that there's some benefit to a guy like PCA being in that dugout and any at bats that are involved right now?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, and it alludes to what you talked about last week when I asked you I asked you if you thought PCA was the face of the franchise, and you had said, I think he's damn near the face of baseball. And I think this is a big step towards that. I think not only does it benefit him as a player, I think it benefits the rest of the league to get to know him.
Yeah, that's half the battle with these guys, isn't it? The MLB does such a poor job of creating an environment where the stars are recognized, and they just. Take the TV deal right now. It feels like today's game. Before we get on to the next one, today's game says it's on Marquee and the Brewers Network. Except when you click the Marquee Network, Neil, you get the Brewers feed.
Right.
I don't know. It's what it is. But
listen, I'm not going to complain about that, because I got to watch the Cubs today.
That's true. We did. So
I like, it's like you mentioned. I'd rather have a muted feed than no feed at all.
Sure.
So I'll take the Brewers announcers. There's two broadcasts I love. Sometimes when we're playing these matchups, I will flip over and watch, just because of their hatred of the Cubs, and that is the Brewers feed and the Reds feed. That nobody hates the Cubs more than the two guys who announce for the Reds. Those guys can't freaking stand the Cubs.
Cowboy loves him some Cub hate. It's great. It's fun.
And but no, I don't. If you want to put a bow on this World Baseball Classic, I'll leave the floor to you. But as far as I'm concerned, I really just hope all the teams have fun.
I think that'll do it.
All right. So, then moving on, we've got more please is the next topic. And this is all about which players do you want the Cubs to give more opportunity to before camp ends?
Well, there's a lot of jobs that aren't available, right? No matter the playing time, right? Even if Jefferson Rojas hits 16 more 420-foot bombs, right? Dansby's going to open the day. Of course, he's not having a bad spring either. He's got 2 jacks already, so he's not really questioning or giving us questions. But, that's just how it works. 18, 19-year-old prospects do cool stuff. So what jobs are available? And that's where I really want to look at, Neil. So, have we signed another 4th outfielder this week, or are we going to give Kevin Alcantara another shot at giving,
I think you've got to be done with that one, dude. You got to lay that one to bed. I don't think he's going to get another shot at it.
Not after epic bat tosses today. That was awful. He can't hit the slider. that's what I wanted to see. These are my notes, and then he went out there and showed his rear end today a little bit from that perspective. Then to find out, this is another one here, Neil. I don't know if you heard this, but turns out, did you hear Craig lost it on Monday during some drills?
No.
Okay, well, they were doing some base running drills, and apparently it just wasn't good, according to, I think Jesse Rogers was the one that said it. He said it wasn't good. He didn't name names, but he said he's never seen Craig get after it like that. Well, it turns out in another tweet somewhere else, somebody said it was Kevin who was dogging it, and it was just not good. So he's squarely in Craig's doghouse right now. So, yeah, we could probably put that one to bed for at least until next spring.
I think we are on the verge of witnessing. Well, I think we're on the verge of him asking for a trade.
When was the last time a prospect asked for a trade in Major League Baseball?
Oh, I think it happens more than you think. I think you just don't hear about it.
Well, that's true. You're not wrong there, but I'm just saying you made it sound like he just basically just put it on X and be like, hey.
No, and I think it's a quiet thing. Well, I think when you are a prospect, and a prospect that's probably in the, I don't know if he's still in the top 100 or not, but I think when you're that level of prospect, you can approach front office and say, look, man, you're not going to do it. Obviously, your agent's going to go do it, but you can tell them like, hey, look, whenever there's a deal, feel free to include me in it.
It seems like he's close to. I mean, luckily he's still got options, but this time next year he's in the Alexander Canario. Get released because he doesn't have any more options and there's no fit here. So yeah, absolutely. I think. I asked all summer long, was he going to be included in some deals, and you were a little hesitant on that too. Then.
Yeah, no, I mean, my view on that's completely changed. I think they're looking to move him. I really do.
Well, it'd be interesting to see any value there. Other than that, I would love to see some more of these new bullpen arms. I'd love to see some of these that they're going to tell us that that's where it's at. Otherwise, I'm just going to sit here and hope that, Luke Little can find the Fox box, or same with Porter Hodge. Those are some things I do want to see, obviously, but I need to see the guys that they brought in here that spent millions of dollars on to get us outs into 6, 7, 8, 9 slots.
Well, to stay on that for just a second, to stay on Kevin.
Yeah.
I think that what you alluded to about the value, I don't think there is value because they don't play him. So you can't tell what he's worth. So, he's going to have to put up some numbers in AAA if he truly wants out.
Right.
He's going to have to put up some numbers to say, hey, look, I'm valuable. Move me.
Sure. This is his MO. Slow springs, hot Julys. What do you have, like 8, 9 dingers in July and August last year at the end of that Iowa season? So it's a similar pattern here. We're just waiting for him to grow up and be something different. And maybe that's just maybe this is who he is, right? That's just eventually a prospect is a prospect. That's just what they are. They never really, have more than that potential.
No.
What's been an interesting storyline in the first week and a half here for you coming out of the camp?
To me, it's what, you called it a year ago a year ago, March, like that Jefferson Rojas was going to be a dog. And I mean, I can't get enough of watching this kid. Like it makes me go to my calendar and find out when Iowa is going to be playing in Louisville and Indianapolis, because he is must see baseball. Like, with any, I don't think I'm going to get to make it to Arizona for spring training like I wanted to, but he is must see. Like I can't wait to see this kid play in person. He's the real deal. And, you and I both know it's coming. We talked about it last week. Like there's going to be the time, 2 weeks before, I don't know what we have left, 3 weeks of spring training, so a week from now where they're going to say, okay, you're playing AAA. So we're going to go ahead and remove you from the 26 or whatever. But my gosh, I want to see as much of him as possible until it's like Dansby can have 10 more plate appearances for all I care, and then I want to see Jefferson Rojas take the rest of them.
Yeah, they've done it. I mean, he's been getting those reps, and he's been answering every single day. I mean, that was a bomb today. I mean, an absolute just. I'm ready to hit. Like, and that's, it's great. It's great to see that when a young player has an approach at the plate that is offensive, and I mean that in a good way. It's an offensive approach, and it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely. It's him, and then I still want to see some more of Wiggins.
Oh, he was smooth today. He looked good.
Yeah,
he looked real. He looked like last year. He reminds me. I hate doing this but it's easy to do, right? We do this as fans. We compare, but he reminds me of a very early Jacob deGrom. It just the delivery, just effortless out of the hand, the injury concerns, all of it. It's great. So can't wait for that Ferrari adventure this year. Hopefully he can stay on the track. And that's really all it is, right? Because the track is fast to Wrigley as long as he stays healthy.
Yeah.
That's the biggest concern about Jackson Wiggins.
Okay, so some of these guys might be benefiting from something else going on behind the scenes. Talking about pitchers like Wiggins. Let's talk about the pitch lab. You there? Can you hear me?
All right. Here we go. So pitch lab. I mean, is it worth wins? Is it long term or is it short term? Is this just a temporary regime, if you will, from the Cubs, or is this a foundation that can go for long term?
I mean, I think it's long term. I think it's the direction that it'd be interesting to see if Hottovy ever leaves or goes anywhere else, if the pitch lab goes with him, or if this is a Craig thing and Tommy's just kind of being forced to swallow it, or
right.
if this is a Tommy, if he's been selling it to Craig. So that would be interesting to see.
Well, the investment in and of itself, it seems like they're all in lockstep as far as that's concerned, right? And it's different. Everything's different than 5 to 10 years ago, right? You go to spring training now. If you go to the backfields, there's no fewer than 15 cameras on those fields on tripods, and they're watching something. Every camera has a responsibility and a player or an activity that they're watching. So in this era of that, them embracing that and making that the forefront of their foundation, I hope it stays. We have some good candidates for it. Some guys that were here beforehand that had huge upsides, like a Luke Little, that just, we got to get them somewhere, right? They got to take that next step. So having that foundation is great. I think, honestly, Neil, in the end, what it does is it helps you build an arsenal, because you start talking about arm angles and you start talking about release points and velocity and spin rates. And so what they are starting to be able to do is say, okay, well, I need 2 of these and I need 1 of those, and I need somebody that kind of looks like this. And now they can just go and profile them and find them, and they can just bring them to Charlotte or bring them to wherever they're, to do these activities. And they just line them up and say, okay, you fit profile. Here's 10 guys that fit this X, Y, or Z profile, and you can build your arsenal from that as long as they can perform.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously that's the debate, right? Is does it translate to wins? And my biggest question about the pitch lab and tread athletics and all that is, do all of the guys use it? Is it a requirement?
Ooh. So like people not bought in?
No, like we see JMO and the struggle that he's having right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, is pitch lab and tread more of a prospect development?
Okay.
Not a, I'm on my 3rd big league contract.
Yeah.
I've got my own people. I've got my own routine. I've got my own throwing program. I've been here. I've done this. I know what I'm doing. You guys stay over there with your new toys. I would be curious, because if this is a requirement and that everyone is doing it or has to do it,
mm-hmm.
I would be really, that makes me even more intrigued about the JMO situation, because it's clearly not working for him.
There's several guys there. I mean, it's J-Mo, it's some Luke Little, it's some Porter Hodge, right? Some of these guys that have plus stuff, and they just seem to execute pitches over, repeat. So we're fixing mechanically, but do you believe that mechanical fixes can fix the, can help the mental side of this game?
No, I was just going to say that. Like you can mess with mechanics all you want. If you're fried between the ears, it doesn't matter. Like you take it somewhere else.
This looks pretty. I mean, it spins at this. It hits all the marks, right?
Yeah, it hits all the marks, including the
center, the barrel.
Yeah, that's what it's hitting. He's not missing any of those.
Well, look, you've done this. We've been coaches, okay? So some of this stuff, when we get into these conversations, it's easy for us to assimilate the results or some activities because we know this, right? We've run an entire program and said everybody has to do it this way, right? This is how we warm up as a team or whatever it is, right? And you always know guys don't stretch the right way. There's guys in the back jacking around. So is that what we're seeing here? Is this year 2, year 3, and as we go through this foundational tool of Pitch Lab, will we see the guys that are sloughing off in the back? Is that exactly what we're going to see? Is guys that aren't committed to the program will fall away?
I don't know, because I was very much that way when I started coaching, but as I got older, you gotta let these guys be individuals, and as much as you hate it, like you get a kid that comes to you that's done nothing but travel ball his entire life, and now he's coming to a school program and he's hitting 600 for his travel ball team, but he's got a waggle that you're trying to get rid of because you don't like it, and then all of a sudden he can't find the barrel to save his life because you've stripped him of what he's comfortable with. So I kind of changed my tone on that. Like, not all change is good change.
Mm-hmm.
You can't abandon comfort in my opinion.
Well, comfort and confidence go hand in hand, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. There's a time for that. Like the off season is a time for that. I don't. Spring training is the time for that. Like, spring training is the time to fine tune what you're going to be doing, not make monumental changes to,
right.
Three.
What was it last year? Ben and Danny were both working on stuff. They both said it. I'm trying it now. And Danny kept throwing it, and Ben was not throwing his third pitch in the games. Remember that?
Yeah.
So yeah, there's 2 ways to go about it. You can keep trying it. I guess when your ERA is 6.9 and you're getting 8 runs a game on offense, you can just keep throwing whatever you want up there. If you're Ben last year, that was weird. But that's, speaking of Ben, I got a note here. Maybe that's why he came to mind. He's the one I'm really watching right now because, as an OG dog from the dog pound, boy, he fell hard. And he made a great comment last year. He said, I was basically irrelevant by the end of the year. And I worked on that this offseason.
Worked on being relevant.
I mean, that's a huge motivator. I don't know how you can define relevancy, right? But the reality is he's not wrong. And he's got 2+ pitches. And now he's throwing a sinker at 96, 97. That's filthy stuff. I mean, that's what Edwards throwing, right? He throws like something that's 97. That's a sinker or a splinker.
Yeah, look, I don't know if it's my mentality, if it's my background. I don't know what it is. But there is, during spring, I tend to gravitate towards who's not performing. So, like, Ben's checking the boxes for me, so I haven't paid much attention to him. I've probably paid too much attention to J-Mo and way too much attention to Porter Hodge. And like those two, I'm just like every rep I'm trying to find on Twitter, like every, you know what I mean? Like, because all these games aren't televised anymore, like they were last year and the year before, where you could watch all these spring training games. So it's like, I am trying to find as much of these guys throwing live in-game pitches, because they, Porter's last outing, J-Mo's last outing, and Porter's last outing were both not televised.
Yeah.
So, I'm just scouring, trying to, like, I'm watching the game cast, and it's like, geez, 6 earned runs? Like, what in the world? So then you just start looking for video clip after video clip after video clip. Like you start going to the Giants Twitter feed trying to find them posting the bomb so that you can, what is going wrong here? Like, what is happening? And unfortunately, it takes away from the guys who are doing the things
right.
Because, I'm spending as my wife and kids, I'm sure would tell you, I'm spending way too much time on Twitter trying to find these guys locating a pitch in the zone when it's like, gee, man, Christmas, like why don't I spend time on these guys who are making the necessary improvements and adjustments? Like Javi Assad, not really paid much attention to him because he's throwing the ball well. Ben Brown's made huge strides, not really paying much. Cabrera looks like a dude. Like,
is this because from the negativity focus standpoint is because those guys were slotted into starting roles and now you're like concerned?
I don't know if that's it, man, or if it's like you just really want to root for him. Like God, man, Ben Brown is such a likable kid. Like, he's such a great kid, and like you just want him to do so well. Same thing with Porter Hodge, man. Like, I can't. You're not going to find a bigger Porter Hodge fan than I am, and like I sometimes I feel like I'm fighting an uphill, but sometimes I feel like I want it for him more than he wants it.
Yeah, I can't sit down. When he throws, I can't sit down. It's weird. It's like, it's not my kid. It's not my kid.
Right.
It's just a baseball game. He's not my kid. He's a great kid. He's not mine.
Yeah.
That's, it all comes together as far as opportunity for those guys. At least they keep running them out for 3 days. And that's what's important right now. And they're not shying away from that. And they're not sending them to the backfields. I just, like you said, I wish we could watch them more because it might relax us a little bit if they would start executing those pitches and we'd be like, okay, they're back. We're good.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of pitchers, Justin Steele is cleared. Are the Cubs set for a 6-man rotation all summer? Or is it, this reminds me of one of the problem, like, how people complain about stupid stuff and everybody's like, oh, that's a first world problem, Like, is this a first world problem? Like a luxury? Like, we have a 6-man rotation that all seem to be pretty legit.
Yeah, they can all get outs. So what is your first reaction, though, when you hear a player, a pitcher specifically like this one, go, hey, I'm well ahead of schedule, and then he gets cleared medically, but he's ahead of schedule here. How do you feel about that situation?
I don't like it, to be honest with you. There's several things. There's a couple things I don't like to rush. Elbows and knees. Whenever someone makes a 6-month recovery from an ACL, I'm like, oh, this is gonna this is exactly how the doctor designed this. Like it's 8 months minimum.
Right.
I don't care what kind of Aaron Rodgers medicine you're on. And you can throw that on the list. Luckily, it's weird. There's a phenomenon going on with Achilles tears.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen much of that in the game of baseball. But, it seems like college basketball and professional basketball and the NFL, Achilles are just tearing like, I don't know. Like, I don't remember that when I was younger. And maybe it's social media or maybe it's the way we're working out. Things are different now. But
last year, our workout problem was the obliques. I don't know what we were doing, but we kept blowing obliques out. That was, man. So the 6-man. Okay, so here's a question. As far as that's concerned, you say 6, and Steele is cleared, which means if you put him on track for give him 2 more months, then that's June-ish. So I count 8 guys, and Justin Steele makes 9. So you said 6-man. Is there odd men out here?
Yeah, I mean, there's 3 odd men out.
Or are we talking about attrition?
Well, I think we're talking about guys that are not going to, they're not going to stick around or they're not going to start. Like, I don't think Wiggins makes the big club.
Oh, he's not part of the group. He would make 10.
So who do you got here? We got Shota. You got Cabrera.
Mm-hmm.
You got
Horton.
Yeah. Boyd.
Tyone.
Yeah. See. Okay. So like Tyone, Ray,
Assad.
Yeah. To me, look, I know he doesn't want to, but I think Ben Brown is a bullpen guy to me. Ben Brown's not a starter.
Well, I agree, and that was kind of my off-season plan for him if I was devising a plan, but they had other plans. They said, let's learn a splinker and let's make you a 3-pitch pitcher, which means he's probably not going to be a bullpen guy. I think you're right. That fastball and that curveball are completely swing and miss, 6, 7, 8 inning stuff. Like, it makes sense. Plus, it doesn't extend him too long mentally, which seems to be his break. Somewhere in that second time through the lineup, it's gone. So it makes sense. So I would like that. And I hope they don't just say, well, we want to keep using this, go to Iowa for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and then it turns into 6 months because there's no room in the inn.
No, I think there. I mean, we can run a Ben Brown debate maybe in our next episode.
Sure.
But I think Ben Brown is. I have changed my tune on Ben Brown anyway, to where I used to think he was going to be short relief, like come in and get 3 outs, or maybe just we're going to ask you to come in and get 1 out in a sloppy inning where we just need somebody to come out and mow somebody down and then go across the line and sit down. I think they're building Ben Brown into when someone gets in trouble and we need long relief, that he's going to come in, one of those, you have those dirty games where somebody's coming in the second or the third inning and they've got to go 4 or 5. And I think that's what they're turning Ben Brown into, or, you play 2 innings or you play 3 innings and there's a rain delay and you're not bringing Horton back or you're not bringing Boyd back. So what are you going to do? We're going to run, one of our 7 starters out there at you in Ben Brown.
So would you then start doubling those guys up if you have 8 or 9 guys and you say, okay, well, we're going to piggyback a Colin Ray start with a Javi Assad, or you just do a piggy?
Yeah, but I still think you do. I still think Horton is one of those guys. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's an absolute dog. Like if I just think that he's young enough to where we're still probably not going to stretch that more than 4.5. 4 2/3. Maybe he gets to the 5th, but.
Oh, no, I think he's going to be a full starter. I don't think that's the case. I just think at 90 pitches, he's done.
At how many?
90-ish.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say 80, 85, but.
Yeah, I think they just look at it just like they did last year, and we were kind of whining about that down the stretch. Of course, then he chokes on a cigar in the celebration and misses the playoffs. These underage kids, man, they just don't know how to hold their stuff anymore. It's unreal. But okay, so we saw this, and then we saw this happen on the other end, and we talk about the strategy from the Dodgers where basically Blake Snell threw, 16 innings all year, and then he comes and throws 30 in the playoffs and shuts everybody down. Could you see a stash option here? Is Justin Steele going to end up being stashed like that longer in June?
Yeah, and I think they all are. I think you're going to see. I think the Dodgers, and again, this is probably why there will be no baseball next year, because I think the Dodgers have shown the world this is how you do this. You have 7 to 9 quality starters, and they all have obliques or hammies that they have to miss 8 weeks. And, head down to Cancun and rehab,
Well, if that's how they want to play that, then I think you can go ahead and if J-Mo does not turn it around, I think you could pencil him in for a lower back issue on March 25th.
Yeah, again, unless we see some sort of announcement, like somebody's got to fall on the sword for this dude, right? Or you're exactly right. Somebody has to fall on the sword for this dude and say, look, we've been trying something out and it's not working. Or we've been working on something and we're going to shelf it. Yeah. So somebody's got to fall on the sword for this dude, or you're right. He's going to be mysteriously injured on March 24th and will not make the trip to Chicago.
Yeah, it's going to be the mystery injury thing because you can't get away with that. as a manager or a coach anymore. You can't just say, oh, well, in the background, we've been working on some things. I'm sorry, the data's out there. Every pitch that this dude throws is somewhere. So somebody will find it and be like, that's not true. You know what I mean? Like, but you're right. Falling on the sword for your players is probably the best thing one of those assistant hitting coaches or pitching coaches could do. You know, just be like, that's all we're doing. We're messing around with a grip.
We're messing with his grip. We're playing with spin rate, or just like
talk a bunch of jumbo that we don't understand, and then we'll move on.
Yeah. So, I mean, I hate to beat a dead horse with this topic, but like, who is if you're going to go 6, who's your 6 right now?
Well, that's the only problem. I think that's why we're frustrated, Neil. This is the moment, and this is why. This is because it doesn't matter that JMO gives up 16 home runs in the spring. He's going to roll out there sometime in the first 2 series, no matter what. And that's what's frustrating when you got a guy like Jackson Wiggins or whoever is, a Javi Assad, Ben Brown, who's out here just throwing dots, and they're going to be reserved to a role because JMO has seniority. But he's throwing like he's been at Senior Frogs all off season.
Yeah. Okay. So
the 6, to get down to the 6, I think you're going to see a mysterious injury out of there. I think they're going to start Ben Brown in Iowa because they want to lengthen him out for whatever reason. And you're going to see Javi Assad and Colin Ray man down that 6 role and the swing man role.
Okay, so let's move on. Our topic of the week. We're over time again. We've been doing this a lot lately, man.
I like talking.
I know. So here we go. The lineup. Let's just go top to bottom. Position or not. We'll go. You'll say who's going to lead off. I'll say who I think is going to lead off. We'll go to the 2 spot, the 3 spot, 4,
okay.
And we'll go from there. So
opening day.
Opening day.
Be a righty on the mound.
Leadoff spot. Who you got?
Like, are we trying to be right, or are we trying to build the best lineup?
No, we're trying to build the best lineup.
Best lineup. Nico hits leadoff.
Okay. I would love to agree with you. And I do agree with you if we're putting the best lineup out there, but we're going to put Craig's lineup out there. So
are we betting? Are we betting? Is this Kalshi? Are we betting on a lineup?
I'm just saying Craig's going to lead off Ian Happ.
Ooh, okay. All right.
I just think Craig's going to lead off Ian Happ just because of he is the longest tenured Cub.
Okay.
He let him off last year. I think it would look like a demotion if he didn't.
He's going to have a good spring to warrant that for me. I don't mind it.
I do mind it. I don't want Ian Happ to lead off. Mm-hmm. And I think it becomes tougher later. Like, I would rather do it out of the gate, like rip the Band-Aid off and say you're not going to lead off. I'm with you. I want Nico to lead off.
Do you think Ian wants to lead off anymore? Do you think the middle end of the year where he got moved down in that 6-7 role really let him get back to where he wants to be?
Oh, geez. I don't know. I don't know what he wants. It's
a tough nut to crack.
Yes.
All right. So now we're to the 2 hole. What do you got?
In the 2 hole for me is Nico.
Okay. So I've already got Nico used. So I go Bush in the 2 hole.
Okay. So I like it. I mean, listen, you're building the lineup card for my heart.
Right.
I'm building the lineup card that Craig's going to put out day one.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you asked. That's what the question.
I have this up.
You saw the notes, right? Like I'm in there. Like that's some old school. Like I was nostalgic today. The old coaches pad. I've had the field on there. I had 3 different lineups. I even have one that Matt Shaw's leading off. How about that?
Whoa. Okay. Okay. So who's in the 3 spot?
Briggs.
Ooh. Okay. Yep. That's I've got Briggs in the no. I've got yes. I have Briggs in the 3, PCA in the 4.
PCA in the 4. Saya goes 5.
Okay. Did I have who did I? Hold on. I'm trying to make. I don't already. Yeah, Saya's in the 5.
Okay.
But hold on. My question for you: Is Saya in 5 at the DH, or is he in 5 in right field?
He's in right.
Okay.
He's in right. Again, same thing. This is a psyops deal with him too. Like, we're going to commit to you to do this as long as we physically can, and we're going to pump you up to play right field and be the best. And he's a pump up guy. He's got those sayings on the glove. He's all about this. So I think he's going to have a good year. And I think he's, I think the number came out today. He cracked the top 100, and I was surprised that it was, he did, but also not surprised because the dude bangs. So, all right, where are you going after the 5 spot?
The 5 spot is the 6th spot. I'm going Miguel Amaya.
Okay, so Amaya's catching opening day.
That's what I have, yes.
Okay. So I go 6th spot. I go Ian there to go switch hitter there after the righty. And then 7, I have Carson Kelly starting.
Okay.
So I go Kelly in the 7. DH is Mo Baller because of right-handers on the mound.
Ooh.
And Dansby is in the 9 spot.
I have Dansby in the 8 spot.
I don't mind it. That's my favorite spot for Dansby, but in that lineup.
And my DH is Matt Shaw.
With a righty on the mound? Do you think Craig goes righty-lefty with the DH, or do you think he says hot bats, hitters hit?
Yeah, no, I think opening day. I think of all days, opening day, you don't play the split.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like opening day, you're putting out like these are my 9 guys.
Do you think Matt Shaw's better hitter than Mo Baller?
Do I think? No, I don't. But I'm not sold that Mo Baller will be on the 26th.
Ooh. Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you. You know how they play with contracts.
Stop. He busted service time last year.
No, he didn't. He was under it.
No. I
thought
they did to keep his rookie year status going, but he's in for rookie of the year this year, and they're going to give him every chance to get all those at-bats.
Okay. Well,
and he can hit, dude. He just
listen, if Mo Baller's there, he should. Well, I don't know. I don't know if he'll be in the lineup or not. I still, we're still politicking here, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, okay, so then I think we have like one final question here. So what is one lineup decision that you are just dead set on? Like, don't mess with me.
Well, I don't think it's necessarily a lineup card decision as much as it is a position deal.
Okay.
I don't think I am adamant that Saya play right field until he proves that he can't.
So no platooning, no, just everyday right field.
Yes, I don't want a situation where we're putting somebody who can't play. Like, I hope we're not just putting Matt Shaw out there just to, pass a narrative or whatever. Like, I really want. I think Saya has earned the opportunity to fail. Like, if Saya proves he can't play it, but I got to be honest with you, about halfway through the year last year, I felt a lot more comfortable when he was out there than I did than Kyle Tucker. Yeah.
No, he was very reliable last year, and he plays much better. His splits are much better when he's not the DH. The one thing I'll say, and I mentioned it before, and you have him in the 8, I had him in the 9 in our ideal lineup, or Craig's lineup, if you will, but Dansby stays in that 7, 8, 9. Like, he's got to stay in the bottom third. I do not care about a new approach. I don't care about a toe tap or whatever he's doing different this year. I don't. I just don't. Just leave it at 7, 8, 9. Let's all stay relaxed. We don't need to put people where they don't need to go anymore. This lineup is so balanced that you could see Dansby anywhere from 1 to 9. You're not wrong. But we also know better. So let's not.
No, I agree. All right. That is it for us. That is our show. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time. We went over again by a whole lot. So we will try to do better next time. Or maybe we won't. Who knows? But thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for hanging out with us. Follow us, like us, all social media at Club 120 Show. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, comment on this video. That's all we have. We'll see you next week. Go Cubs, go.
Go Cubs, go.
This has been Club 120. Neil and Nate have practically spent their entire lives doing something centered around baseball. And with these guys, you're going to get quick-hitting, time-answer segments packed with wit, laughs, and, yes, heated debates. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you did, make sure to like, rate, and review. We'll be back soon. But in the meantime, you can find us on all social media platforms at Club 120 Show. And, of course, the website at www.club120show.com. Until next time, go Cubs, go!
This podcast was produced and recorded by Vocal Media Solutions. Unauthorized reproduction or redistribution without written consent is strictly prohibited. Interested in launching your own show? Visit vocalmediasolutions.com to get started.